Now, when we start this recording, as you know, we have help from beings not from Earth that helps you to be able to go on the journeys without fear that otherwise would block you or misdirect you into the astral or motion or some other body, and you just get lost and we make no progress at all because those body forms you're running there are generally not fully awakened, perfectly attuned to each other and to the Atma that is supposed to be the master over them. There are two things I'm going to be sharing with you at the beginning of this journey. This has to do with the special technique in the Sayers Agenda book for chapter 1. And then we're going to go to the same techniques shared in chapter 17. You don't need a book. Don't worry, I'm going to be reading it, but I'm not going to be reading it. I'm going to be sharing it with you telepathically. So relax, get comfortable. The first thing we want to do is send out the hue 6 times. Now, here's what you need to be consciously aware of that is happening when we're doing this. Because if I don't tell you this telepathically, the chances are on Earth you won't be aware that's what you're doing. And which means you as an Atma are actually doing this to the body. If you're conditioned throughout your life to not know this stuff, then you're just going to revert back to what your habit is. So when we send out the hue, we're activating a doorway through the pineal gland in the center of the human brain. It's part of the physical body, but it has nervous system links that connect to other realities. That's the best way of putting it. And the hue moves through the liquid in the middle of the pineal gland, and it's like giving it instructions to run the body this way, run the body that way, put it to sleep, secrete melatonin, serotonin, so the body goes to sleep. Because the secretion of serotonin, which makes melatonin, is to put your body in automatic so you can leave it. This is not known to doctors on Earth. That's what's really happening. All they say is, oh, your body secretes this so you go to sleep. But they don't know why. Why does the body do that when you leave it at night? See, that's what's missing on Earth. So when you do that, you're doing two things. You're stimulating a conscious link between what you are as an Atma that is not in the body or part of it and your physical life on Earth. And then that connects to beings outside of Earth's atmosphere, out in the hue of space, the omnipresent spirit, whatever you want to call it. And that connects us all the way to Source. There's no middleman, really. I mean, if you think of Satnam or Turelian or silent mentors as middlemen, you could. But they're not really, they're assisting this interdimensional connection to be maintained and be safe because they can do it. They have that capability. So we need them. And we want to be as helpful to them as we can be while they're helping us. It just makes sense. It's common sense. So let's send out the hue first, and then we'll go into these things I'm going to share with you. And then we're going to go wherever we go to get to the Hue Expansion Ray Academy, into the northeastern quadrant, to a very, very special training facility. I myself on Earth only became aware it was there when I took people there. I had to describe it and share it telepathically with everyone so everybody could see it as best they could as an Atma. And I don't expect the bodies on Earth to see what the Atma sees when we go on these journeys. But when you come back, playing the journey a second time is the key to getting the body on Earth you have in that consciousness that learned none of this to become enlightened and aware of such things. It helps you make better decisions on Earth. It helps you drop more fear of death and life beyond Earth and all that stuff. It helps you along your way. It's very simple. It's practical. I'm going to start the hues now and do it with my vocal cords. You do it silently in the private sanctuary of your own being, where you'll find that the hue, it's just spherical, is capable of seeing on multidimensional levels in perfect tune with other beings. It doesn't have to learn how to do this. It's not a physical body phenomena. I'll begin those tones now. This basically puts you near the ceiling of your home, looking down on your body that is in the trance state called sleep. Don't get all mixed up and confused about this stuff. You know that to do this every night when you put the body to sleep like a master. Everybody on earth does. They've lost all the other aspects of being a master that they need in order to understand what it is they're doing. So people, one of the parts of being trapped in the illusion of being bodies is that you don't know how you're putting the body to sleep and leaving it every night. Primary implantation 101. As long as people are not brought up from their culture, their surroundings, their religions, their politics, with any understanding of this, they don't grow up knowing how to access those higher faculties. They just don't use them. Not aware of it. There's no God. Satnam's not up there like a dictator, sadistic God manipulating people to stay stupid. That's not his purpose. He supports his place in the Atma plane and supports the whole flow of the you that supports the whole multidimensional universe below the void and the beings who run those planes. That's been being that way for a couple 100 billion years. So change to take place in the lower worlds so that people can begin to get free from what they no longer have enough energy to get free from. There's a charge that has to be brought to this planet's atmosphere, the H2O in the air and in the water, to raise the vibration enough for people to stick their head above the fear long enough to think right. And common sense will tell them when they're offered the choice to be free from this subconscious crap forever, I can tell you the choice is instantaneous, and it's the same for all beings. They instantly choose to be free of it. And then it's removed. It's removed so that it does not influence people to misdirect their correct thinking and choices from then on. This is something you once knew and lost. Something that is being returned to you, as amazing as it seems, as unwell known as this work is on a worldwide scale so far. It is here to do exactly what it's doing. It is the beginning, the front, the guy on the surfboard riding this huge ocean wave through the solar system, and a few people. This energy that's moving through the solar system does not move both ways. It cannot be controlled by people on Earth, dictators, leaders, religious leaders, political leaders, or anybody else. It moves the way it moves now, and we're going to cooperate with it. To resist that is to suffer. So we've sent out the hue. I'm going to do it once more. Hue. You begin to imagine you are leaving your physical body in peaceful serenity. This has nothing to do with the body. The body's just kept calm and serene, breathing, heart working, and it's running automatic, just like you put it to sleep every single night. You know the hue is protecting the body and you throughout the entire exploratory experience into awakening hidden truth. While operating outside the physical body, if you're able to view the true self, which you all can, you will discover that you appear as a radiant, spherically shaped energy. Your true self, the solar atma, is made of a bright white central core, surrounded by separate layers of spectrum colors from the white core to a violet exterior. Thousands of luminous teardrop-shaped lights make up each successive layer, extending outward from the core. A subtle golden glow surrounds your entire sphere. This is what soul really is. But behold a beam of white golden light suddenly surrounding your energy sphere, and you see it draw you up inside a disc-shaped spaceship. You see yourself appear inside this craft in a luminous body that looks like your physical self. You're standing before a human-appearing male or female, depending on what gives you comfort, whose presence immediately uplifts you. They are not from Earth. The warm, smiling, highly evolved, and benevolent human extraterrestrial standing before you has slightly larger than average Earth-type blue eyes. The vivid blue eyes emit a depth of compassionate kindness that almost lifts you off the floor. To them, this is normal. Understand this. You immediately know this very wise and loving being is there to help you recover all that has been purposefully taken from you, suppressed in your subconscious mind, an artificial creation itself, without your consent or awareness. The extraterrestrial welcomes you with their right hand held over the heart area and a slight respectful nod of the head. You begin to hear inside yourself a friendly telepathic greeting and a very personal, uplifting message. This message is private and meant only for you. It will be apparent that what you hear will be benefit from this moment onward throughout your life. Now let your uplifted, joyful imagination take you where it will from here, and that is going on this journey. This is your experience, so flow freely with it. Then we're going to chapter 17 of the Savior's Agenda book in the Special Techniques section. In this technique, we will explore awakening discernment, of which published books, feature films, music, and other media available today are beneficial, and which actually are designed to keep a person from recovering their true higher nature and abilities. Reflect for a few moments now on how book publisher Dan Waymeyer's ignorance of his own higher faculties to know hidden truth, such as the existence of extraterrestrials, is gently awakened him by the new consciousness liberating ray woven in the hue. We're going to send out the hue 6 times and then reflect on how Mark, or his true identity as Ambassador Sean Rawle, co-creates in harmony with the underlying living omnipresent energy. This energy passes through the fully awakened awareness of his true nature and through the special gold pin attached to his clothes to greatly uplift and benefit his publisher friend. In a way, this is what we're beginning to do. It's that part of the book manifested on Earth. The other aspects of that book have yet to occur for this planet. The ones that come after, sitting in that white chair. The same process is helping you gain back your full ability to know hidden or suppressed truth with certainty, no matter what situation or deceptive false face may cross your life path. I'm going to send out the hue 6 times. Do it with me. Hue, hue, hue. Those are connected. Then we're going to send out this statement into this hue connection we've made to space, where beings are waiting for us. It is going all the way up that vortex to source directly, so do not fool yourself. When you send this out, carefully worded, you're doing this right to source itself. showing it you're awake and aware and that you want its help to, shall we say, finish your training. Here's what we send out. Safely awaken the clear ability within me to know with confident certainty which books, feature films, and musics available on Earth today channel special energy to stimulate the awakening of suppressed or dormant higher faculties. Up near the ceiling, you're showing projecting a human appearing body form, about 36, that looks just like Shantiel and Tonaltiel or Dantiam, Lamtiam, and others, couple assigned to each of us. And they are spheres, atmas, and you're in between them near the ceiling. They're simply keeping all of your subconscious traumas and fears of this and other lives turned off for this journey. Why? Because it's a service they can do effortlessly and allows us to bring back an energy from the source on our return that helps to charge what needs to be charged to change Earth first. Nobody knows this. Scientists don't know it. We're supposed to be beings that help the hue flow through us to keep Earth's water charged. 8 billion people are doing exactly the opposite of that. Out of grace, of kindness, is enough hue coming into the Earth's atmosphere to keep things alive, but not enough for them to wake up, to stop or suspend fear long enough for them to see and choose wisely. This is the problem. It's purely a lack of hue energy in the atmosphere of this planet. When you understand that, you understand a lot. Up near the ceiling, there's a white golden light, like a soft, gentle, fine particles, like a flowing river of light. It's coming down through the ceiling, through all three of you, the guides, the couple from the Galactic Alliance who've left their body aboard the Emerald Star Cruiser to join us as Atmas here. They actually do this work as conscious Atmas out of their bodies. Their bodies are on board the ship. We're still a group of people around this one individual aboard a spaceship, male or female. We're also a group of beings, in a minute we'll find out, around Tyrellian in space. We make a connection that's practical with a person or a being that is actually physically on a 30-foot in diameter Scout class ship. Each one of you is aboard a different ship with a different being. They're actually showing you their physical body, but you can see the atom above that body. You are showing them a physical appearing form they can see that isn't made of DNA or Earth bodies, but it looks human, and you're hovering above it. So this is something new that is taking place in our work with the Galactic Alliance because they're changing. The truth is, without charging Earth's atmosphere with the hue, which is what people pray to all day, they call it divine spirit, they call it this, they call it that, but they don't understand what it is. It's just a concept to them. It's the omnipresent dark blue or black area of space that surrounds all those billions of galaxies and their interdimensional links through the poles of each galaxy connecting to higher planes, go into quantum physics 101, and then leap into knowing about it instead of just using math to prove other dimensions exist. This rain of white golden light has a sound like a deep rumbling, soft and gentle, like thunder, constant, no lightning. It's the sound the physical universe makes that the Atma can hear and see. The Atma, the white core of it, is made of exactly the same thing, but it's an Atma energy of the hue that comes from Source itself. It's a much higher form of the hue than the hue in space, but it's still the same hue. Still the same first sound behind creation. You can see that this energy is moving through you, through your physical body asleep, out through the walls of your home, and it's going into Earth's atmosphere, like the aurora borealis. It's going into Earth's oceans, and it's continuing to charge it up a little bit here and there. It takes certain boots on the ground on Earth for this to occur. It doesn't take a lot, but it does take some. Atmas running bodies on Earth awake enough to allow this to come through them. It's simple as that. We aren't the one power that makes this change, this charge. I'm sure there's silent mentors that can literally put their hand out and charge an atmosphere and a planet, But they're a doorway for the source energy. They're actually from the source themselves, but they're fully conscious. They're the most evolved beings in existence. They have no limitations upon them whatsoever. And they don't have anything to do with physical bodies. They don't have them. They don't have astral bodies, emotional bodies, or causal or mental or etheric or any of that. Neither does Turellian. And he's our primary focus guide when we go on these journeys. There's a brighter flash of light through your ceiling, and we find ourselves in outer space now. Those ships are gone. The Galactic Alliance couple standing to each side of you. There's a spherical Atma that is you hovering above these three forms. The man and woman are gentle, smiling. They're usually about 6 feet tall or a little taller. And so all they're doing isn't invading your mind or invading your privacy or reading your thoughts. They're just keeping your fears turned off. That's it. They aren't authorized to remove those fears. They're authorized to keep them turned off so we can have some enlightenment brought back to Earth, to our lives on Earth, to help change the consciousness of what you're aware of running that body. In a circle around Turellian, I'm now standing Turellian's right side and Satnam is standing to his left side. The rest of you are in a circle around, and you'll see there is a couple standing behind me. And then they appear standing in the circle with 24 master teacher couples in between each of you. These are beings from the Galactic Alliance that are master teachers, Earth people have never heard of, that are going to the U Expansion Ray Academy to serve as instructors there for a time. Law of economy. We're going there, so they're going with us. They learn from what we experience. They learn from what we become aware of. They learn from what we bring back to Earth to the best of our ability. And they find out and create new ways of doing things to help speed this process along for the unconscious mass of people running bodies on Earth. There are 3 planets out in our galaxy where this kind of experimental work is carried out. These worlds have fully charged atmospheres and oceans. They have 3 different worlds where they're working out ways to set people as extremely suppressed as they are on Earth free. This has to go way beyond religious belief or anything taught to people on Earth. It has to go out into the greater God they pray to every day, out in the universe first, out into the greater heavens of stars and galaxies, and then all the way up through all the dimensions of creation. Turellian's standing in the center of this circle. He always is. 18-foot tall body, perfectly formed, looks like a Greek god. Long, blonde, slightly wavy hair to his shoulders, big eyes, blue eyes, crystal clear, luminous, bigger than Earth human eyes, slightly bigger, slightly pointed ears, bare feet, white gown. He has a female companion, looks just kind of like him, but feminine, in a white gown, standing beside him. I think one time I found out what her name was in one of these journeys, but I don't remember it now. And I wouldn't pry. This is private. I mean, this is they're whatever union they have. It's far beyond Earth people on Earth. It's far beyond sexuality or anything like that. They can have whatever experience they want in any form they choose to mock up, but they're not trapped in the illusion that they're any of those forms. It's important for us to understand this because because it rubs off on us. Let's put it that way. And we have to cooperate with this one way or another. To cooperate with it, we have to be consciously aware of this one way or another. Up above Satnam, you see an Atma, the left side of Trillian. Up above me, you see the Atma. You see it above your, you're looking down from your own self, hovering above the physical forms you're showing each other. We only show this physical Aperian form as a projection from the white core of the Atma in the lower worlds of time and space. The forms we show each other from the void upward are the same form until we get to Agam Purusha's realm. And that form is withdrawn into the white core of your being. It's not needed. We go up the tree of life, we go up into the hue expansion ray, and way above that, we go up into prime creator source. It's just the sphere. You don't have any physical appearing form projection there. This is natural and normal. And you can imagine how normal and natural Earth would be if people were aware, just aware, they're a spherically shaped form of being running bodies. Everything on Earth would change overnight, quite quickly, quite dramatically. Up above Ambassador Trillian is Eta and Din. Drens, silica-based DNA, four-stranded, not two like Earth humans. Like humans from other worlds are four instead of two. Some have two, but they're all turned on. All the genomes are turned on. They're very different than we are. In longevity and health and attitude in every way you can imagine. And that's common outside of Earth. Not rare, common. Earth is the rare place of extreme suppression and unconscious beings running bodies. That goes back into galactic history, solar system history in ways none of you remember, but you were there. The only past lives anybody needs to recall are those that bring wisdom into their current life. Everything else is eventually erased. You don't need it. Why bring a baggage full of lives of destruction and loss, billions of them, into your present life on Earth? That would kill your body almost instantly. Human brains and bodies aren't designed to hold that kind of vast information. It's the Atma that has all this in its layers, all the lives, everything it's ever done. It's not important that bodies on Earth know it. It's important that you know it. Up above, Eta and Din with their tails glowing, about 3 feet long, standing upright on their hind legs. Remember, they have a thumb and 4 fingers, a big toe and 4 little toes, just like an Earth human, but they don't look human at all. Big bulbous blue eyes, tails glowing like crystal opal in sunlight. Above them is beautiful, radiant Atma, and above them is Light C. Light C is a little higher up because he has a form only in the etheric plane. It's a transparent, luminous body, far more evolved than a human form. Can live millions of years and not wear out. Time and space are very different in the etheric, mental, and other planes than they are on Earth. But it's still time and space. Light C, with his little Fu Manchu type beard, I don't know how to describe him quickly. His little maroon robe with little esoteric symbols on it, and his little curved, almost flat-edged donut-shaped hat, and his little esoteric symbols on it. Blue eyes, glowing blue eyes. He's not typical like an Asian on Earth because he's not from Earth. And above him, hovering a very radiant, larger Atma than we are. Kind of between us and a silent mentor, but a little more white in it, a little more radiance to it. Can't explain it other than that. And above him, you now see Satnam has positioned himself. He's left the side of Trillian. He's up there hovering with two silent mentor couples, male and female, alternating male, female, left and right. You can see their gowns, one single color, pastel, blue, green, yellow, lavender. And above them, long hair to their shoulders. Each one has a different color hair, different color skin, no facial features, just this golden light, white light that you see many levels of galaxies. And when you look into their face, where a face would be. And above them is the true atma form of a silent mentor, 4 times larger in diameter than us, twice as many teardrop-shaped levels of subtle variances of the spectrum of light. And you can hear a high tone emanating from them, like the high melodic note of a flute. They live in a plane above the Hue Expansion Ray Academy. They live in a plane above the Source or Prime Creator. And they're there now. Yet they can be simultaneously anywhere in any plane, carry out a mission, and know it fully aware on all those levels. So they're called silent mentors. Okay, that's the way they are. In history of your lives in billions, hundreds of billions of years, silent mentors never really had much interaction with beings like us or with master teachers. Some master teachers had an association with them, but it was never really done where silent mentors were consciously known even by the Galactic Alliance. They knew they existed. They didn't experience them. Not until Tyrellian showed up in the Galactic Alliance Council, where we're going first on this journey. It's important because they're going to go with us. The whole council, all 5,000 representatives. It makes sense. They have the technology, the spirituality, and the enlightenment, and certainly the technological advances in science and medicine, anti-gravity, traveling around the universe, and knowing they're not bodies, running bodies that live thousands of years and don't age, all that kind of stuff. This is not new out there. It's ancient. Ancient. They don't use oil for fuel on any of those worlds, ever. It's used for something else. People on Earth don't know yet. But it's not used for fuel. Gold and silver seem to be so valuable to people on Earth. Relatively rare to most other minerals, but they're not used for money. They have technological uses. Tyrellian has his fist closed with 2 thumbs up. There's a white golden light around each, about a foot thick, subtle, beautiful little glow, perfectly formed sphere. What he's doing is he's creating a field of energy from the hue from source. It surrounds all of us in a circle in an oval transparent light, like the hull of a spaceship. So we're all kept inside this protected energy field. And it's this that's going to go up through the planes in this vortex above Satnam, that's right above them, whirling clockwise, big, wide, narrow middle, big, wide opening, turning clockwise, radiant golden white light, and around it is a blue layer and a green layer, moving more slowly clockwise, each one at a different rate. And up through it, you can see all the way up through this, like you're looking at a magnifying glass, and see a vast, subtle, brilliant, more brilliant than galaxies, stars in a galaxy. You can see this light, but I call it a pale cobalt blue light. And that's the void. So the first place this connects to is the void, and then it goes higher from there. That's already in place. Now we're going to do the hues again. This time, we're co-creatively, of free will, without fear, influence, sending our combined hue up through this vortex where it's amplified, all the way through the void, up through Satnam's realm, up through the Hue Expansion Ray Academy, through the Hue Expansion Ray Academy Tower, right through it, upward further, all the way up through many planes to Ogden Purusha's realm, up the Tree of Life, and into the very center of the white core of what we call Prime Creator. But it doesn't stop there. It goes upward to another entire realm, and upward to a realm above that. There's a Silent Mentor realm, and then there is a Hue Expansion Ray realm. These are new creations. They're not in any history, religious, or spiritual books on earth or any organization, because they didn't exist before, I don't know, 12, 13, maybe 14 years ago, in earth terms. The master teacher couples between each of you are looking carefully into the eyes of each of you and up at the Atma you are, and you're looking into their eyes and looking up at the Atma they are, just to get familiar. The energy is telepathic between all of us. It's the primary, omnipresent, single power, conscious living force of the you. It's moving all through us, all around us, so we're all connected. It has nothing to do with egos, because here you cannot bring ego with you. Not the personality of your body you grew up with, not your name on earth. Because your name on earth is for that earth body. It's not your astral body's name. It's not your causal body's name. It's not your mental or etheric body name. And it's not your name in the upper worlds. The astral body I run in the astral plane is named Lemriel Trimbana. 2 words. But Lemriel is the first word. I use it as my last name on earth because it has an energetic property to it, a connection. Which is why all the books and everything I've done here with vast assistance are copyrighted in my pseudonym, official copyright name of R. Scott Lemriel. This is practical for me. Out in space, you can not only hear the omnipresent power of the universe, you see it. It's the Atma that sees this, not your life back on Earth. The body's asleep. You're not. There's a brighter flash of light coming down into Dorelli, and from that vortex, it comes through his palms, his wrists, thumbs up, and it's brightening this sphere of oval light around us, and we are shot upward at tremendous speed until we're up above the Milky Way galaxy, deep in that deep black blue thing people see in Space Hubble telescope images, which to the Atma is not black or dark at all. It is a white golden light that has this sub feeling to it, like silk. It's like stars and planets are in and around what surrounds them. And you can see distinctly the light of a sun is separate from this light that surrounds it. One does not obscure the other. They're 2 different things altogether. The omnipresent hue is a living single conscious power. Comes from the source. It is what holds together all creation. Silent mentors are the beings who actually hold together and protect and guard interdimensional doorways, like the ones between galaxies, the axis of vortex, center of a galaxy. They connect to other galaxies in higher realities. They're connected. They're all connected. And we're looking down at about the 4th spiral arm away from where we are on Earth. And we're looking at the first third of this massive bulge of stars near the galactic core that these spiral arms come out of. And we're suddenly hovering above a planet near the outer area of this bulge. We're not in the galactic core, we're in that outer area, first third of it. And we're hovering above a planet 4 times bigger than Earth. It's radiant with light. There are no polar ice caps. 3 worlds the size of Earth with no polar ice caps are in orbit at different distances around this planet. and it is one of a number that orbit a trinary star system. The trinary star system we're looking at, this planet, is called Zetranami 1. It is the Galactic Interdimensional Alliance of Free Worlds headquarters world, a governing center. That's nothing like anything on Earth at all. When you look out at this sun system, it is the central governing planet of the entire Galactic Interdimensional Alliance of Free Worlds, located near, not in the galactic core of our Milky Way galaxy. It is 4 times larger than Earth with no polar ice caps, and 3 moons the size of Earth, also with no polar ice caps. The central planet of the Galactic Alliance and its moons orbit a trinary sun system. There's a big blue-white young hot star, the biggest one that these planets orbit. Further out is a yellow sun, a bit smaller but much larger than the sun Earth orbits. And further out is a smaller yellow sun about the size of our sun Sol that Earth orbits. And we're suddenly moved by Turelian down into the atmosphere until we pass through these luminous water vapor in their clouds, which is a kind of a lavender, slightly lavender, yellow, lavender, slightly pink. And as we come through, break through the clouds, we can see into the distant horizon, far to the left, a huge, calm, glowing gold water ocean, very much charged with the hue, and a luminous golden crystal-like beach, little grains of sand, transparent gold. Yeah, there's such a thing as transparent gold, in case you're wondering. And it can hold the charge of the hue. It's like water mixed with gold. How else can I put it? Such things are possible. And down below us, way in the distance, is this curved bay, and you can see these exotic plants, luminous. And we're looking down at a large, gently curved white dome building. The little formica flakes in it, so it's glittering like obsidian pieces in a gold, black sandy beach with glitter from the sunlight. And it's translucent, means we can see images of beings and things inside it, but it's not completely transparent. Out in the distance around the countryside are thin pyramidal-shaped buildings, crystal and glass-like walls, spherical buildings with layers of people in them on tripod legs, beautiful waterfalls, 3-tiered, built around it, that circulate little streams and lakes, and they're recycling. So off in the distance, you'll see a long, flat, cylindrical, about a foot thick, like a landing platform, and there's a mile-long Emerald Star cruiser landed on it. Cylindrical, looks just like the one on the front of the Sayre's Agenda book. And we find ourselves moving as a group of beings through this dome right into the upper ceiling, where a white shaft of golden white light is flowing down into the center of a blue disc-shaped stage, and around it on concentric levels of circular concentric levels of blue stone marble-like floor, these white leather-like chairs. There are 5,000 members standing above these chairs, all different races. The Atma hovering above them, and we're in a circle of beings around Turelian, who's right in the middle of this shaft of white golden light, above this stage, this presentation platform. And we're watching this, and he appears in his physical appearing form 18 feet tall, because this dome's quite tall. Standing on this stage, he opens the Sayre's Agenda book. Sayre's Agenda is not my agenda. It is the agenda of the Say-Rays human race that predates Earth humans by billions of years. 12-stranded DNA bodies. You can't even imagine what they're capable of. So they are responsible, as you know now, for creating these Galactic Alliance Council members. Xeonternamus, tall silver hair, ivory skin, violet eyes, Oceanians, you name it, whatever's out there, reptilians, grays, tall grays, all that stuff has Say-Rays DNA in any bipedal form. There are forms that have Say-Rays DNA in them that aren't even bipedal or human-like. Tyrellian opens this big book with kind of a blue-gray metallic cover. It says the Say-Rays agenda, but it's in letters that are glowing, constantly moving. You can see it in English, but it's really in Galactic Standard. He opens it up in these pages. He opens up to the middle of this book, and you can see these hieroglyphic golden letters moving across the page right where text would be. You can't read it, not even with the projection eyes of the human appearing self you project to show each other. That has no DNA. And Tyrellian is simply, again, demonstrating what is in that book. So these little rays of light come off, and thousands of them, off these individual characters that are dancing on these pages. And they pass right through every one of us, everyone here. And they go out through the walls of this dome and out into the atmosphere of this planet Zetronomy 1, off to do whatever they're going to do. And we become aware that the Say-Rays agenda has to do with the Hue expansion ray. It was manifested or came into existence through the Say-Rays first. They're probably the oldest and most experienced race of beings who are not trapped by or in the illusion of bodies, who left and immortalized their physical forms over 1 billion years ago. They are pure energy, just like we are. And then we find ourselves above this planet. We can see the trinary star system these planets orbit, and above us is this hourglass-shaped vortex. Still turning, it came with us. We're in a circle of beings around Tyrellian inside this oval golden white light. And the sound of the hue is moving upward, and we're going with it. We're following Tyrellian. And Satnam, who's above him, and the two silent mentor couplers right up into this vortex, and we are beamed away all the way up through this vortex. And we come out the other end, we are in the depth of the what people on Earth call the void. It is a pure form of hue energy that exists as a barrier or a protected layer between the upper realities where we come from and the lower created worlds of time and space where we play and run with bodies and things like that. And we're moving upward, and way up in the distance, way ahead of us, we see a bright point of white light. As we approach it, it expands into a diamond-like beach that extends in each direction as far as you can see and curves inward on itself. Beautiful jungle trees, every kind of tree you can think of. Luminous, transparent trunks. These little crystals, diamond-like glowing round spherical crystals, make up the sand of this beach. And we stop to hover above the trees, looking down at the beach. Satnam's a little bit ahead of us, and then these birds come out of the branches, foot long like a blue jay, twin sets of bird wings like hovering in place like a hummingbird would. I think a dragonfly has 2 sets of wings, kind of like that, but like a hummingbird with 2 sets of wings. A long beak, big blue eyes, male and female with slightly longer, colorful tails. Feathers are blended in perfect blending of all the colors of the light spectrum, thousands of colors. They open their mouths and begin to sing the hue in ways that you can't believe, because their vocal cords, which they have here, they're telepathic photographic memories, and above them is hovering a silent mentor, 4 foot in diameter, larger than us. And they're seeing the hue, and you can see the hue going in and blending in harmony on many levels to create and maintain the void. That's what they do. Part of what they do. And the singing is moving through the white core of our beings around Turelian, through Turelian, on its way to support the void. This makes sense. We cannot bring egos or any negative nature with us here. Cannot bring it into the void at all. So we're here as the Atma. And Turelian moves into the distance. And we see below us, as we pause, a fountain of Satnam's statue, 15-foot scalloped edge white fountain, standing with his hands, palms open, facing down, a white golden shaft of light coming down on this form of Satnam, his red maroon robe, his 2 gold bracelets on his upper arms, his gold eyes not yellow, bald, smooth skin, looks to be about 36, but he is ageless. And the Atma hovering above him is quite a bit bigger than us. And all the colors are there, but it's more of a white golden light, brighter than the colors of the bands. You can see the shaft of light coming down into this fountain, pours over the edge in a glistening golden white sheet of light, and vanishes into the ground between a donut-shaped flat white stone sitting seat with 12 intricately carved scrolled legs. There are 12 cups on 12 golden hooks around the outer edge of this fountain. Those cups lift themselves off those hooks, dip themselves in this light, which looks like water, pours it over the top of your Atma, down into the physical form you show each other, making it brighter, raising the vibration. And then Turelian takes us instantly up into the vortex above this fountain. We come out the other end to find out we are coming out the top of and looking down on the Hue Expansion Ray Academy Tower in that special created parallel dimension above Satnam's realm. The cobalt blue light surrounding the Hue Expansion Ray Academy, this huge floating circular landmass, is much brighter than the cobalt blue light surrounding Satnam's realm. You can't call it an atmosphere because there are no planets or moons or suns or stars anywhere up here. They aren't needed. Everything and everyone creates its own luminosity, its own light. You look down on this tower, you realize it's very tall, and it comes out the outer circumference of a white stone disc-shaped island, surrounded by a blue-green luminous lake and 6 blue stone snow-covered mountains that surround it. The tip of the tower we're hovering above is about as tall as the mountain peaks. It comes up from a disc shape, a cylindrical shape, tapers inward to a flattened oval area with a fountain in it, blue stone scalloped edge, much bigger than the one where Satnam's statue is. And then it goes up this shaft of this tower to a minaret point. There's a shaft of white golden light coming down into this tower, all constantly in motion. You're looking around now. All of us are compelled to look around to see into the distance the vast nature of the land that surrounds this tower. It's the size of a continent. At the base of the outer lower levels of each mountain is a horseshoe-shaped golden tunnel, out of which comes a pure white stone roadway. Like the tower is the hub of a bicycle tire with spokes coming out of it. Each white roadway, perfectly separated from each other, goes straight as an arrow all the way to the luminous beach. Out on the western shore, you see a wave constantly crashing as it moves clockwise. It's a blue, slightly green-tinged wave, green-tinged, and it crashes on this lumen diamond-like sand, which is much brighter than the sand in Satnam's realm. It's going clockwise. It continually surrounds the outer circumference. Silent mentors maintain this. It is what keeps, you might say, the Hue Expansion Ray Academy floating in this other very bright cobalt blue light, behind which is the white golden light of the hue, blended with it. And Turelian then takes us up in our transparent oval protected hull of a spaceship tribe light, and we hear the sound of this flute. Sound of like, it's not a human voice and it's not a physical flute, but the melody is coming from source down through the planes. And as we move up into this shaft of light, headed many dimensions upward to Agam Purusha's realm, we're not going there yet. We're suddenly directed to pay attention to looking at the north, south, east, and west quadrants of the Hue Expansion Ray Academy. Each roadway has a training facility. First to the right in a circular clearing, then to the left, a little later to the right, and there are thousands of them. We're looking at the northeastern quadrant. We're suddenly projected above a single white roadway that runs down the middle of that quarter of a pizza pie, let's say. We're going down towards the white sandy beach, past one of the 4 silent mentor training facilities that's on the left. We're going further and turning into another clearing on the left. It's a big circular clearing. We're in the presence of a very, very different place. It has a cylindrical wall, white, transparent. And you can see through this luminous white blue light of this wall. And inside it's filled to the open top with radiant, looks like a blue water. The golden white light of the hue it's like, what's the name of that? Hydrofluorohydrocarbon. It's a liquid you can breathe that has oxygen. You fill your lungs with water. It actually exists on Earth. It's classified. Anyway, there are 12 doors, rectangular doors made of a luminous blue field of energy. There's no actual doors or door jambs or hinges. And Turelian has each of us and other master teachers that are with us and 5,000 Galactic Alliance members, which came with us in circles, concentric circles around us. We're all moving inside that one of those doors around this outer circumference of this facility. When we're inside, you can see a white shaft of golden light coming down into this, charging whatever this substance is. And you see 12 silent mentors hovering up near the top of this luminous water-like substance. You are sitting in this substance, actually standing, in the form you show each other, the Atma hovering above you, breathing it in. It's passing through you, and you're breathing it out. It's moving constantly. So whatever it is that's here, it's a mixture of silent mentor and master teacher. Turelian would represent the master teacher at the center of the shaft of light. It's representative. But there are many master teachers here with us. So this energy flow is between master teachers and silent mentors in this special silent mentor, master teacher, prime creator teaching facility. This is very rare because it's never been revealed to anyone in the lower worlds before. So it's a gift. And then we're up above this entire facility, looking down around Turelian, still in this oval light, transparent light, keep us all together and focused. And we are shot upward at tremendous speed. We can see one plane after another, blended artfully blended into each other. There's no tunnels, no doorways from one plane to another. It's very subtle. And we go all the way up and come out suddenly into a fiery realm. We're thrust into Agam Purusha's fiery realm. We are in a realm of, looks like an aurora borealis, but much more, I don't want to say violent, much more energetic. And it's blues and greens and oranges and reds and lavenders and violets, and it's fire and it's swirling and moving around, disappearing, creating forms that, like an apparition, and then disappearing. There's no floor, no ceiling, and this massive white golden light being, all these layers of teardrops, like Prime Creator itself, approaches us out of this light. Now this is Agam Purusha, and he welcomes us into the realm of the raw power of eternity, because that's what it is. This one being manages transforming this pure energy, powerful, into generating it down to support other planes below him. We have to get permission from him in order to go up what we're beginning to see behind him, which is the tree of life. The tree of life is a massive silver golden tree that looks like a fir tree, perfectly formed, every needle, every branch, roots the size of planets going disappearing in the light below us. There's no floor. The top of the tree, all the way to the point, disappears beyond visual range, the range of the Atma's ability to see. The trunk of the tree is a white golden light moving up and down constantly. There's no sap in this tree. And we're being given permission to move with Turelian through the branches of this tree. And as we pass through the needles, each one represents a planet, a location, a galaxy, a dimension, a doorway, all represented in the needles on the branches, which the branches represent major power transfers from source into Satnam's realm, and then they're sent by Satnam, or by Agam Purusha, not Satnam, down into the lower worlds. And we're suddenly thrust into the trunk of this tree and shot upward. When we come out the other end, we are even in a more brilliant cobalt blue light of eternity. There's only one thing in the center of this light, a single silver golden galaxy turning on its axis. That's what it looks like. Just like the Milky Way, but much brighter, millions of times larger. And we're moving towards the outer, what look like stars of a galaxy we see now are individual spherical beings, quite massive. The distance between two we pass between surrounding Turelian is like two stars in space. And then we're thrust through all the outer layers into the white core, which is 1/3 of the interior. And it's hollow. In the center of it is a white disc-shaped island, luminous beyond comprehension. The sound of musical sounds and voices here express a beauty that cannot be described in human terms. There is a sound coming from the source, and it sounds like this. Hugh, 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 Hugh. I could do it the other way, but I haven't learned how to do that yet. It works both ways, this sound. It's the sound of the hue, pure source. And we are now suddenly in the middle center of this white center. Above this island, we can see is hovering an Atma that's massively bigger than us. Thousands of teardrop-shaped layers of color of light, the spectrum beyond physical light. And then we're in the middle of it. And then the white core of our being is identical to the white core of Source or Prime Creator. Then we begin to hear Prime Creator speak to us, each one of us individually. All the 5,000 members here, the Master teaches with us, Satnam, Turelian, myself, all of you. This is what he's saying to me. You have returned to fulfill your destiny once again as a trustworthy co-creator with that which you see before you. The source is the nexus of all atmas in existence in the multidimensional universe. Here, everything is connected. Everything always has been connected. Here, truth cannot elude you. Here, there is no lower bodies of etheric, mind, mental, causal, astral, or physical. Just the true being. And you look out, you're directed by the source you experience now around you, to behold that you are one of the beings surrounding this center. And you're back here in the center. And this is to impress upon awakening in you your true nature, as it once was, as it still is. The challenge is to get you awakening the body forms you're running on the lower planes and get them working together. So now you will be sent back to the void. To stay here longer would result in the end of your bodies on Earth. There's a flash of white golden light. And we are around Torellian inside this oval golden white oval light, moving down to what looks like an aurora borealis, multiple colors. It's a barrier between the bottom of the void, where we are, and entering the etheric plane, where the lower worlds of time and space begin. Time and space and matter and bodies, positive and negative, good and bad, all that stuff. And we pass through this field of energy. And now there are thousands upon thousands of continent-sized land masses floating in a majestic, blue, luminous, radiant space. And you are each standing in a body form that's transparent, well-dressed, luminous eyes. You can see all the energy centers of what you'd call chakras, but this is not a physical body. And the eyes of this body, male or female, look to be eternally about 36 years old, about 10 feet tall, perfectly formed. The Atma you are is hovering above it. And beside each of you simultaneously appears Satnam and Torellian. The energy coming from them is compelling your etheric body to open its eyes, be aware of them, and then look up and gaze across the void into Satnam's realm to remember. Then it's compelled to look down through 144 parallel dimensions of the etheric plane into the mental plane. And we see in the mental plane one of 80,000 continents of land masses where you're standing in a body that's well dressed on some balcony in some city metropolis, but not congested like you'd have on Earth. And you're standing on a balcony in a body form about 10 feet tall. In my case, you can see I'm standing on a body form that looks 10 feet tall with ivory-colored skin, silver, long, kind of silver-like hair to my shoulders, violet eyes, taller limbs, taller fingers, longer torso. And my eyes are open. The Atma I am is hovering above it. You're seeing this for yourself now because you all have the same type of body here. This is where the Xantronamus race got their genetic structure from through the Se rays, from here. That's all the way down the physical universe. And that body's compelled to look up and see the etheric body looking down on it. Then it's compelled to look down and see you by three geodesic dome complex in a jungle luminous setting with a golden, luminous, flat, calm ocean surrounding a golden beach. And each of you are standing on a semicircular white disc, the outside of one of these domes, eyes closed, perfectly dressed, taller than Earth humans. Satnam and Torellian appear beside this body and compelled to look up to see your mental body looking down on it. Then the etheric body is compelled to look down and see your astral form in the emotional realms, You're standing on a blue, diamond-like beach with a blue, cobalt blue, radiant ocean, calm, surrounding you. Jungles with luminous trees. And your eyes are closed. You're in bare feet. Beauty of forms here is much greater than on Earth. And the Atma you are is hovering above it. Satnam and Turlian appear beside each of you simultaneously and compel your emotional body to be awake and look up to see the causal body looking down at it. Then you're compelled to look down and see you as the Atma, hovering near the ceiling in your home on Earth with this galactic alliance couple still beside you. 3 spheres, 3 physical appearing forms, all about 36. They smile at you and vanish. The light continues down through you, through your sleeping physical body, out through the walls of your home, out into Earth's atmosphere, to continue to charge its depleted hue in the H2O of the oceans and air. It goes through you for your benefit, yes, imparting something to you on the way, some kind of wisdom. And then it connects to 3 pyramids located on Earth that are not made of physical matter, but they appear solid. They appear as real physical things, but they are not. 2 are at the bottom of Earth's deepest oceans, 1 at the bottom of the Atlantic, 1 at the bottom of the Pacific, and 1 in a hollowed out interior of a mountain in the Himalayas. The light goes through us into the ocean, charging things, continues, it never stops, into the core of these pyramids. Golden-sided, quartz crowned, statue of Satnam in each one. It's a device, a receiver. And it's beamed as 3 beams from these pyramids that connect together out in space in the hue, and then it's beamed as 1 larger beam all the way through our solar system to a much bigger golden-sided quartz-capped pyramid stationed between 2 stable asteroids that magnetically support it, and into a fountain there. And then it's beamed out through that fountain, and this fountain is in the asteroid field that orbits in the orbit of what was a planet between Mars and Jupiter. That's how the asteroid field got there. It was a planet that was blown apart a long time ago. Several billion people on that world died instantly. And we all know where they first came to next, Earth. That beam is then sent out through the space of hue, all the way to the center of the Milky Way galaxy and up the axis, the core, which is a white golden shaft of light. It is not a black hole. Human eyes can't see it other than black, because human eyes on Earth are not designed to see into high enough frequency. And that continues all the way up through the planes, through galaxies above it, through the astral, causal, mental, and etheric, through the void, Satnam's realm, up through the planes, Agam Purusha's realm, up to the source or prime creator, up to the realm of the silent mentors, and up to the hue expansion ray plane. And it moves one way, and it never stops. And we are back. When you're ready, open your eyes. And then I will have you turn on your microphones. And remember, it's not your physical body that's awake now that went on this journey, no matter what you think about it. It is you. The real you, that isn't the physical body, that runs the body you have, that is awake on this journey. And it will help if you go on the journey a second time by yourself, having fun with it, to get your physical body and brain and everything on Earth aware of what you just did on this journey. Because you have to enlighten or educate that body you have on Earth. It doesn't learn any of this stuff on Earth. It doesn't know it. In fact, the brain you have in your head can't even contain this information. So you have to bring it back to your form on Earth. Any questions at this point?
I felt that Perry's cat, I just sensed something. It moved on.
It might have. I got it. To go back to this, I got an email from her. I'll turn my phone back on. Forgot to turn it off. So I got an email from her. This would have been about 15 minutes or 20 minutes ago, I guess. Then I'll read you what she said. And I don't know what the condition of the cat is. but I'll tell you exactly what the vets found so far. It's interesting that we should have the regard for one little kitty, cute little loving being, very loving.
I thought about that with all the other souls.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't mention it, but my cats, former cats that lived here, always go with us on these journeys. They're learning. They're getting that learning from us who are representing ourselves properly to the forms they had as human animal bodies. They're really Atmas, just like us.
Yeah.
Much brighter now than they were. So this is all good.
So their Atmos join us on the trips,
Yes,
on the journeys.
just like Etta and Din.
Naughty, isn't it?
Because Etta and Din have their bodies on Oceania, but they go with us on the journeys, just like the Galactic Alliance couples do.
Yeah.
She says, the ultrasound results showed cystitis. I don't know what that is, but it's unlikely to be severe enough to cause a coma. However, his current condition is comatose and unconscious. So
Wow.
further investigation into the cause is required. At present, blood tests cannot be performed because the blood vessels are constricted and blood pressure is concerned. The vet has already catheterized the cat twice. She's about to do a contrast dye injection to check the urinary tract. There's a lot of blood in the urine. Since a urinary catheter has been placed, that's the update for now. And I think you're probably right. The cat's probably going to translate.
Yeah.
And it's good for it because it's had a broken back for 9 months. Couldn't move its legs. And she's been given a lot of love from Perry, just nurtured and cuddled.
Yeah.
Loving being. So that loving nature is transferring to where that cat goes when it leaves this body. It's going to get help leaving the body. It's already comatose, so it's not suffering.
Mm.
So I guess it's a good thing. So that's the update on that issue.
Okay.
Now,
I felt the Atmer I am really received a lot of extra energy on this journey.
Yeah, because it's going right through you. It doesn't stop to where you can possess it in your hands like it's yours. We can't possess the hue. We are the hue. It's be like possessing yourself, putting your hands around the Atma and holding it. It's me. I own it. It's energy. It doesn't. You don't possess something like yourself. You don't possess other Atmas, but we can. We are in harmony and co-creative harmony with each other. That's all any normal world needs to be. Bodies are fine. They're just an experiment. They come and they go. They're a dime a dozen. On many worlds, and on Earth, they're very short compared to other worlds.
Yeah.
So we're not very long lived on this planet, but that's because the DNA of your human DNA, twin strand, some of the genomes, there's over 1 billion, determine your hair color, your size, when you translate, all that stuff, has been turned off, like the one that tells your telomeres not to shrink when the cells divide. On Earth humans, the telomeres shrink when the cells divide. That's called aging. It's abnormal. It is not normal. With that Earth is sure it is, but it is not. And down deep, everybody knows it's not normal. Everyone.
Yeah.
It's just that people on Earth can't do anything about that. We don't have that openness with other cultures from other worlds to bring that science here, to bring that enlightenment here. So disclosure has to happen. Being, I wouldn't want to say control, being under the responsibility of Galactic Alliance personnel and master teachers to change the world. Because people on Earth can't do that. They're nowhere near high enough in consciousness to change anything. We go on these journeys, we're bringing back with us energy that changes things. And it's the one power. When we imagine something, what was that thing that was so famous a while back, The Secret and the law of attraction and all that stuff? And people did that for purely materialistic gains. To be a winner, to be successful, to be famous. It was all done.
Like money and all that. Yeah.
But none of that anybody keeps, so you can gather all you want and then it's just taken. You just leave it behind when you go. It's just pointless. So people aren't aware of how to use energy in the form of money or power correctly. If they did choose things without fear, that energy would be used properly. But otherwise, it can't be. So they have this other element running through Earth that is not part of the so-called misused free will of human beings on Earth. The mass of people on Earth, they are not working in true free will at all. Because if they were, they wouldn't do what they're doing to each other and to all life on the planet or the ecology. They wouldn't even dream of it.
Mm.
And there wouldn't be any chemtrails either, by the way. Or would anybody use money or energy? No one would need to. Because we really live on the hue itself, the omnipresent single power. We're made of
Yeah.
it, we live on it. Bodies are run and kept alive from it, not from food.
Okay.
Food was supposed to be for pleasure, socially. It wasn't supposed to be something you had to have or you die. There are people that starve to death. In 30 days, their body shrivels up and they die because they haven't had any nutrients. But it's because of their thinking, emotionally, especially astrally, that creates the death of the body, not the lack of food. Water, yeah, I suppose if you don't have any water, if you don't have a source from the hue to produce water in the body, what is the hue? What does water, what can water do? The hue can be charged in water, right? So can you
Right.
imagine what the water in your body, if every single cell, every single molecule of water was charged with hue, what your body would be like?
You
Amazing.
glow. You would glow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really would. Remember the saints have this aura around
Yeah.
them?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't just be around the head. You'd just
Yeah.
have a
Everywhere.
presence. Like if you meet a Galactic Alliance human from another planet, which you all once were, okay, that's not new to you. You just forgotten. If you met them, if you weren't prepared, you'd be so uplifted. You'd be like, oh my God, they're angels. Their God is here. And you'd go off and do some wacky thing, tell everybody the wrong way, and then it wouldn't be worth a thing. So we have to be prepared to be able to walk with our own heads held high as Atmas, amongst other Atmas running more advanced human bodies than we have now. But we once had one of those bodies. Remember this. And you lost it. Usually violently, which is why people don't want to remember. But there's a responsibility that comes with freedom. They're married. The responsibility to have a great volume of the hue move through you means you have to be awake enough and responsible enough to not put any negative imagination in it. That's what people on Earth do every day, all day long. Good and bad, mix. And the hue that supports all life, as it has been, just simply manifests both around a person's life. So we're the gods misusing our own life. When the hue comes through us, that's what happens. So when the hue comes through us at a certain point, it will remove those negative programs. It'll remove the subconscious mind altogether.
Mm.
And then there's no blocks. When you look out from the sphere out into the universe, you see all the dimensions and all the planes properly, undistorted with fear. This is what we want to do. These journeys are helping us recover the ability to master fear, or the ability to master time and space and molecules and atoms, because we already know how to run bodies without any effort. Put it to sleep every night. Usually don't remember anything. But see, that's not normal. That's just not normal. For Earth people, it seems to be. But everybody on Earth knows it's not right. What do they
Yeah.
do with 8 hours a day? The body's asleep, so they're just half their life is just, and that's it. What is the body? What are they doing while the body is on automatic? It's snoring, it's asleep because you're not home. Do you get
Right.
this? You're not there.
Yeah.
If you aren't trained to bring back the awareness and use high faculties of the Atma that bring back the awareness and bring it in a proper way into the awareness and consciousness of the body you're running, the personality and life you have on Earth, it doesn't get there. It stays as the Atma, but you don't know it. It means the unconscious, the thing that's unconscious is the Atma, not the body.
Mm.
It's nothing to do with the brain either,
Mm.
unless it's damaged or, can't function anymore, and then it just doesn't come through the mechanism called the body. But it's still on and working in the Atma. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does.
Any questions, Lee, Renata, Albert, Margaret, anything at all that comes to mind?
No.
Very special journey, because you just got taken to, consider a silent mentor source teaching facility.
Wow.
Direct with source, silent mentors surrounding it in this fluid light. And it's doing something to us.
It's filling up my heart, filling me up. I could feel it.
Well, it's making us something as Atmas that have not existed before.
Mm.
You know how a silent mentor is much
Yeah.
bigger and more capable and unlimited power?
Yeah.
Well, they're already there in their own way, but they're a separate order of beings from master teachers and Atmas learning. They maintain the mechanics of creation. But in this facility, we get to rub shoulders with such beings. And master teachers are also present with us, but we kind of mix it up a little bit. So you could say that we're becoming
More powerful.
something that is necessary to remove all subconscious minds on the lower worlds of time and space. All fear is a failed experiment, good and bad and all that, and replacing it with something that is from source, a wisdom that allows beings to operate the lower planes of time and space as it was intended.
I can tell you what, if I look at myself a year ago, it's making my heart more sensitive to what's going on around me.
Yeah.
And instead of using the left or right side of the brain, I'm more into the feelings I have.
And that means your astral body, where all emotion comes from, that lives thousands of years in a different genetic form, looks
Yeah,
human, but it's a finer matter on another dimensional level.
right,
All emotion comes from there, and all matter there is moved by feeling, not by
Yeah.
right,
not by pushing stuff around, making stuff. Like in Earth, it's all effort, and the
Mm.
astral feeling moves things around.
right,
That's why it's more why you can have dreams of flying in a body through the atmosphere. That's in the astral plane. You're actually
right.
visiting that body and watching it fly around. Sometimes it's being chased. Depends on which plane you're in there. Sometimes there's negative cops there, and it's just, so people bring back these things they call dreams. They had no idea. They were just visiting the astral body.
Yeah.
The astral body doesn't tear itself out of the physical like some people have said, and then you're moving through walls. No, when that process of leaving the body becomes unmovable because you're not in it. But you're actually the Atma visiting the
Yeah.
existent form of the astral body on that dimension and experiencing what you're doing there. That's what a dream of flying in a physical body comes from that realm.
Right.
Now you know.
Yeah.
So that makes you wiser on Earth, doesn't it?
Sure.
Sure
It
does.
makes you smarter just by knowing it. You don't have to be perfect at it, or gee whiz, I'm not a master in this and that. You're not required to be. You can't become a master later on. That's the illusion or Maya of time and space. You are masterful as an awakened presence of the same thing as the source itself. You wake that up fully, you're a co-creator with source. And then we start taking on the responsibility of being custodians and caretakers as we were meant to be for planets and moons and suns and stars and water and mountains and being mentors of animal and mammal life and birds and everything. We become their mentors. They're Atmas running those things. They were supposed to be accelerated in their development. On other worlds, they are. I've taken people on journeys to other planets where birds size of a human twin sets of wings, different colors. They talk to you. They have vocal cords. They're just as even more brilliant than a human being. Pashat people, lion-type manes, furry, 9 feet tall, powerful. You wouldn't want to fight one of them. One of them could take out 1,000 reptilians and they wouldn't even see it. Their nervous system is so fast. They're a spacefaring race. And you've got these beings that are like tall whites, like tall, 10-foot tall humans with blonde hair. Some were good, some were bad. It's a mix.
Yeah.
And you got the little grays. And you got the reptilians, most of whom in the Galactic Alliance are still vegetarians. There's just this imperialistic world set of them that was perverted by a white-ringed cousin race that came through from a parallel dimension in the physical universe and perverted them, implanted them, and got them to go to war. This is 500,000 years ago when that war happened.
Mm.
So there is no war amongst races going on in our galaxy. All the wars and terrible things are taking place on this planet right
Gosh,
now.
yeah.
And it shouldn't be like this. Then we're going to need them to help change it, because us running these bodies on this planet can't do it. We'd already be blown up. We'd already destroyed ourselves successfully a long time ago if they weren't intervening at least to some degree. The one thing they did initially in the 50s was stop us from having nuclear war. 12 times since then, or we'd be all gone. So disclosure is not being controlled by anybody in the United States, any classified system on this planet. It is a flow of energy coming through this solar system to this planet. And it's moving in a new way. It's compelling disclosure, because the people that have been deceiving or being dishonest about what they know about extraterrestrial life beyond Earth were classified. They couldn't talk about it. But that's not a good thing, because lying and dishonesty distorts the energy system, and it causes disease and disharmony amongst the people in the classified communities. They die of cancer, everything else. So to be free of all that, think about this. The only thing people on Earth have to do is tell the truth. Nobody does yet. They tell you as much as they want you to know, and the rest is classified, right?
Yeah.
Right.
That doesn't work. That is a recipe for annihilating all life on Earth. It's negative. It can't have a positive outcome. So what you're seeing on Earth now is the way to transform, I would say, raise the energy of the hue in the atmosphere and the ocean water to get beings in charge of power to make correct decisions they're being compelled to make anyway. But they're doing it with fear right now.
Yeah.
What if they were doing it without the fear?
Because
Scott, I have a question.
Yeah.
You use the word creating a lot, co-creator.
Yeah.
Is it, are we just remembering? In other words, it's just remembering
Well,
what we,
there's remembering what you've always been. You always were. So you have a right to remember it. That's what you are and have always been at the source itself. You're still there. You're not getting this. None of you are yet. You're still there right now.
I know.
You never left. The Atmas, as they are from source, are multidimensional, capable, just like silent mentors. You can be running a number of bodies in different planes simultaneously, and over time, forget all about that. We're meant to make the lower worlds of time and space be mirrors of the upper realities above the void. That is why it's called a failed experiment, because it never worked. We never succeeded. That's where evil and all this sadistic nonsense come from. From not knowing anymore creates fear. Fear creates distortion and mistakes in judgment, always. So some of us have to at least allow the hue to come through us, consciously enough to allow it, so that it can, the one power can manifest this transformation on Earth. It doesn't come from a single being, not even Satnam, not Turelian, not just Agam Purusha. It comes from the source itself and from several planes above there as well. So if it doesn't change in the upper worlds, it cannot change here. The reason we go above the void is so we can bring back a little of this energy and let it flow through us, because then we're now becoming part of the solution and no longer being part of the problem. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, any questions?
Mm-mm.
Anything new on Saturn? That little picture of the
Oh,
craft
you
that's
know,
sitting
I
there?
have, well, I see it for what it is. I don't need a little, blurry light image of a cylindrical ship in the ice rings of Saturn. I mean, you want to see what it really looks like, take a look at the cover of this book.
Yeah.
There
Right,
it is. That's a mile long. The one you're
right.
seeing in the ice rings in that picture is 10 miles long.
Wow.
It's a big one.
Wow.
So, and I haven't even
It's
brought
big.
that up, but several of those ships are stationed in our solar system now.
Mm.
Tens of thousands. There might be 100,000 personnel aboard them from all over the Galactic Alliance. And they're here. So we'd all be gone. We wouldn't have bodies here. Everything would be dead here. You see all this stuff on the news. Oh, these nuclear bombs, and they're going to blow this up. They want to get them, and they want it North Korea and blah, 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 and China and the U.S. But you ever notice that people that are stupid enough and crazy enough to make hydrogen bombs and blow them up radioactively in our own atmosphere just to test them, do you really trust those people not to push the button later?
No.
No. See, that's the problem. That technology was not developed on Earth. Not in Germany, not later in the United States. That whole heavy water thing, that was snuck in. It was sneaked in to Earth people illegally. Nobody earned it on this planet. It suddenly came out of nowhere, didn't it? You
I
got
did.
tanks and guns and airplanes, and now you got nuclear bombs. All of a sudden,
Yeah.
Yeah.
people don't think about these things properly. So I can't really say I could blame anybody on Earth for what's happened. Because what happened on Earth, World War I, World War II, and all these wars came from the influence of beings not from Earth.
Mm.
Classified people know this, but they're not telling anybody. They're afraid to tell people the truth. I don't blame them. They're scared. I mean, how are people going to react? They don't
Okay.
know how to get it across to people in masses because they've been lying to people too long.
Yeah.
So it has to come around them and through them in some way that's organized and set in motion, not by people on Earth, but by people who aren't influenced by subconscious fear at all,
Mm.
or it would be destructive.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Mm. Yeah.
So you all know this now. And now that you know it, you can never forget it, and you never will. So there is one aspect, which is us remembering what we already knew that's been suppressed or forgotten. And then there's the new aspect of the U expansion ray, which imparts a wisdom to us as we're waking up again, so that we're never vulnerable to be caught or trapped again.
Yeah.
That's what's important about these journeys. We become proactive, co-creative. We're no longer just caught in good and bad and lost in unconsciousness amongst the people of Earth. We don't
Mm.
go out to change our neighbors or our spouses or do anything. We just let the hue flow through us. It knows what it's doing with those people.
Yeah.
And their master teachers certainly know more about the psychology and vast, twisted, pretzel-like nature of some being on Earth. From all of its billions of lives, there are beings who can sort that out. It's not people on Earth. Galactic Alliance personnel can sort that out, at least through the lower planes, to some degree.
Yeah.
But it takes master teachers and beings basically consciously manifesting from the realities above the void to figure this stuff out, to how to fix it. And silent mentors have to be involved. They already hold the whole thing together.
Yeah.
Yeah. They do.
They are not involved normally in individually tutoring or mentoring an individual Atma like us. But they are mixing it up with us now, just not in the lower worlds. Unless we're fortunate enough to see them on one of these journeys and planet Zetranami 1 or somewhere where they're part of the journey, usually they'll hang out near the bottom of that void with Satnam and escort us upward all the way to where we can rub shoulders with them. That's something that's never, ever happened in the entire history of the multidimensional creation, ever, going back several 100 billion years. This is new. This is different. Something has changed significantly, which means the old prophesied Armageddon that people had shared with what people saw thousands of years ago is no longer valid. It has been altered. Because an Armageddon is people praying to God to destroy them so they can go to heaven, get a free ride, and be responsible for nothing. That doesn't work, and it hasn't worked on Earth. Earth is getting worse, more destructive from all the prayers and everything everybody's doing. People are praying. I'm not saying it's bad. It's good. They're praying sometimes for good things, but they're praying to placate the Supreme Being they think they're worshiping.
Yeah.
To give it favors, to give it gifts, praying to it. But the praying they're doing is backed by fear of the wrath of God. You know how to get my point?
Yeah. I do.
Yeah.
So there is no God up there that's wrathful like that. That's man created or a tyrant created to control people. And the people that are doing it, that have done it, are all themselves controlled. So they can't help it either. So we got to drop this whole revenge thing and anger, no matter what we see around us, because it keeps us free while we're flowing into a great change for this world. And as we do this, we're actually helping those around us become more free, whether we're conscious of it or not, because we've already agreed to cooperate with the flow of the source sound, the hue, in a conscious way. That's what we're doing on these journeys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Significant. The fact that I can look at all of you and you can consciously look at me and know what I'm talking about, that's a huge boost and expansion of your IQ. I mean, now it just seems natural and normal, right?
Yeah. It
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
Wasn't that way a year ago.
Right.
That's change. This is not easy to see at first when someone comes along and says, these are about direct experience. It's not about faith or belief. Let's go beyond faith and belief into really knowing what we're praying about, to whom and to what.
Yeah.
Especially what people talk about as being a soul. They don't know what it is or what it looks like or even where it is. They're hovering above a body, wondering if maybe it's in their back pocket. Maybe they put it in their closet somewhere. They don't know. The people, when they're praying, when they're working, I'm not putting down religions or anything like that. That's not my gig. I'm simply saying that faith and belief, properly used, should lead to direct experience. Direct experience puts a person in mastery over fear and negative things. And then they step out of the trap of Maya or illusion. Past lives, other lives, reincarnation comes to an end. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Yes.
It does now. That's all that matters, in my opinion. I'm happy if you're happy about that.
Very happy.
I'm happy.
I'll bring this